So the last two videos I've made have cost me a dang fortune. This one, opposite end of the spectrum. What do we got going on today? If you were on the live stream the other day, you know that I am making preparations to perform the second largest aluminum melt here on YouTube. In the vein of other folks who get their Devil Forge out and melt some aluminum, I've amassed a bunch of aluminum. The problem is that the pieces are absolutely massive, and there's no way I'm going to be able to get these into the crucible. In my laziness, I said, well, I'll run it through the bandsaw, but I don't feel like getting the air compressor out and all the coolant, and I didn't hook up the coolant for the bandsaw so that I could trim things down into bite-sized pieces, and it has subsequently cost me a bandsaw blade. Now, the issue with the blade isn't so much that it's dull, it's that I've cold welded a bunch of aluminum in the kerf there. So what's my harebrained scheme of today? Instead of spending $51 on a new bandsaw blade, I picked myself up $8 worth of sodium hydroxide, and I plan on using science to save the blade. I have no idea if this is actually going to work, but it's busted anyway. Might as well give it a shot. What's the worst that happens? It's broken already, right? I've never done anything like this before. So even though the common meme might be, oh, I learned it on YouTube, so I must be an expert, at the same time, in real life, when you're like, oh, I don't know how to change my brakes, someone's always like, well, just watch YouTube. So on YouTube, you're not allowed to say that you learned it on YouTube, but in real life, you're able to say it on YouTube. I don't know how this stuff works. Regardless, I've seen it done on YouTube. Might as well take a crack at it. So I got the bandsaw blade off the saw, put a couple of zip ties on it, because the last thing that we want is for this thing to come springing out of here, shooting hot lye all over us. I have 100 grams of sodium hydroxide lab grade pellets and about 300 milliliters of water. Obviously we don't have to submerge the entire bandsaw, just the cutting teeth, which are all facing down. I got eye pro on, I got a face shield on. You could probably hear that. We're gonna add the sodium hydroxide just a little bit at a time so that we don't smash Mama's beaker up. All right, that's $8. We're in it now. Ain't no coming back. You guys are getting this video whether you like it or not. Well, that ain't no good. Gotta get some more water. Obviously, we'll be diluting it down. It's working. Just not able to get the whole bandsaw. It's definitely working. I could see it. Even with that additional water. You can see those little bits of aluminum falling off and fuzzing. It's working. So far, so great. Put my face shield back down so I can start soaking this. Fly, I don't think you're going to want to land in this water. Cool, so it's been about 15 minutes. I just pulled it out. It seems like it's all done, but like I alluded to, I stupidly stuck my fingers in. Now, it's not like Fight Club, it's not like taking it down to the bone, but I definitely got slippery fingertips. It saponified the oils in my fingers. Not a little Vaseline intensive care can't take care of anyway. I'm a married man, I was probably gonna be using it anyway. It's a dirty joke. But let's see if we can get you zoomed in. And look how clean those teeth are. We got it. we got all that stuff out of there. Beautiful. But you know, I got all this lye juice here. Think it'll melt this can? So really, with throwing some cans in here, I wanted to neutralize the lye before I had to get rid of it. So, you know, the more that you throw into it, the weaker the solution is going to become. So without dipping into my resources of my big aluminum stockpile, I threw some old tinfoil in there, make some sweet, sweet hydrogen, and just kind of let it neutralize out because the process was pretty much all done. Worked pretty well. It reduced the amount of vinegar that I had to throw into this to get it down to a nice neutral area so I can go and dump the liquid in the yard. All right, enough of the science experiment. Let's see how we did. This is not a trick. I really have no idea if this worked or not. I mean, it looks like it took all the aluminum off, but there's only one way to find out. All right, I'm not going to do any more because obviously I don't have the coolant hooked up. But that was a success. Decent looking, there's my manual focus. Decent looking cut. The blade. Oh, well, I just chowdered it up a little bit. No more cutting until I have the coolant hooked up. But as far as, that was amazing. Oh, it just flicks right off. That worked like a hot damn. Alright, so I didn't chowder it too bad. It's just... Oh yeah, that flicks right off. Awesome! Awesome! Let's get out of this hot shed. So I know this is clearly local man is amazed by how chemistry works, but you don't really know. You've heard me say it before, don't believe everything you see on the internet, but shout out to AVE for posting that video 4 years ago, putting that seed in my mind, and then me remembering that he posted that video. That's $43 in my pocket. It was $8 for the sodium hydroxide, but beats 51. That was great. Science. I have nothing else. If I decide to edit in the can, I could say the can's still going. It's not nearly as energetic as I thought it was going to be. If I really wanted to wait for that thing to melt down, it's been like a half hour. It would probably take a couple hours. If I don't edit the can in, that's it. See you on the next one. Goodbye. Burp.
It's really eating it. Take the